Okay, so picture a martial art with no points, no rounds, none of that stuff. An art where the entire philosophy, the whole goal is just finality. Today, we're going to uncover a lost combat science that was built around one single, absolutely devastating idea. One punch, one death. Yeah, just let that hang in the air for a second. This isn't just some dramatic movie slogan. It's the actual core mantra of Adimurai, a super secretive and brutally effective martial art that started centuries ago in the southern part of India. The name itself really tells you everything. Adi means to hit, and Murai means method. So you put them together and you literally get the method of hitting. Adimurai is an ancient, unarmed combat science, and it's that pure directness that makes it so fascinating and, frankly, so formidable. So, what makes this art so different from the karate or kung fu we're all used to seeing? Well, this next part gets right to the heart of its philosophy, a philosophy that wasn't built for sport, but for pure, practical survival. This comparison really nails it. See, while a lot of martial arts start you off with traditional forms and rituals, Adimurai just throws you right into the deep end. We're talking practical, real-life self-defense from the very first day. And weapons? Oh, you don't even think about touching a weapon until you have completely mastered fighting with your own two hands. And this is how they built that mastery. It's a progression. First, your entire body has to become a weapon, just as responsive and dangerous as your hands. Then, your awareness, your eyes, has to expand to cover your entire body, to feel everything. And finally, your mind, your pure intent, has to direct that awareness with total focus. It's a complete fusion of action, awareness, and will. So, who on earth could come up with such a lethal system? You're probably thinking of fierce warriors or soldiers, right? Well, the real creators are a fascinating paradox. So, who were these masterminds? Get this, they were the Siddhars. These were ancient Tamil sages, but think of them less like monks and more like spiritual scientists. These guys were masters of medicine, astronomy, all the arts, and were said to have reached a state of ultimate perfection. And yet, these enlightened beings created one of the world's most effective self-defense systems. It's the ultimate paradox, right? A path to peace that required knowing the art of absolute combat. But this art was never about just brute force. No, its real secret weapon was surgical precision. It was based on a deep, almost scary knowledge of the human body's weakest points. And that science is called Varma Kalai, the art of attacking vital pressure points. But here's the kicker. This knowledge was a total double-edged sword. The very same points that could be used to seriously injure or even kill an attacker could also be used to heal. It was a complete science of the human body's entire nervous system. And the system was incredibly sophisticated. You had Tadu Varmam, which used 96 different points to just temporarily disable an opponent. Then you leveled up to Padu Varmam, targeting 12 secret spots that were fatal. But that last one, Noku Varmam, that's on a whole other level. An attack using only concentrated eyesight. I know, it sounds like something straight out of a comic book, right? And yet, this was considered the absolute pinnacle of the art. So this brings up a pretty big question. If Adimurai was this effective, this advanced, why have most of us never even heard of it? Why isn't it practiced in gyms all over the world? Well, the answer is really a 1-2 punch. Internally, the art was always shrouded in secrecy, only passed down to a few trusted students. But the bigger blow came from the outside. During their rule, the British banned all native Indian martial arts. They imposed severe punishments on anyone caught practicing them. This forced Adimurai and arts like it to go deep, deep underground just to survive. And you can see that incredible history right here. It was developed way back in the 2nd century. It flourished for over 1,000 years under these great Indian kingdoms. But then, with British rule, this ancient practice was driven right to the brink of being completely wiped out. But the story doesn't just end there in the shadows. This is where it takes a wild, almost unbelievable turn. Adimurai might have disappeared from public view in India, but its knowledge didn't just vanish, it traveled. So, did this powerful science really just fade away? Or did it plant seeds that would grow into something else entirely, maybe halfway across the world? Legend tells of this one incredible journey in the 5th century BC. A Siddha master named Bogar traveled from India to China, and his companion on this trip was supposedly none other than Lao Tse. the founder of Taoism. This one journey seems to have changed the course of history. And here it is, the incredible legacy of that one journey. The course to the concept of Shiva Shakti, this idea of balancing positive and negative forces, is believed to have directly influenced the Taoist theory of yin and yang. The healing side of Varmakalai became a seed for what we now know as acupuncture. And its deadly combat applications? They became a foundational piece of famous Chinese arts like Tai Chi and Din Mok. Think about that. The hidden art of southern India secretly shaped some of China's most profound philosophies and martial arts. It just leaves you with this incredible thought. Adimurai was nearly lost to history, and yet its DNA is alive and well in practices that millions of people know today. It just makes you wonder, if one art could have such a hidden global influence, what other ancient knowledge is still out there, just waiting for us to rediscover it?